From humble beginnings in 1991, Tan Sri Lim Wee Chai grew a small glove venture into a global giant. Today, Top Glove is the world's largest glove maker, with nearly 50 factories producing over 95 billion gloves annually. During the pandemic, Top Glove made global headlines. Its stock soared 450% in just 7 months. At its peak, it was worth more than some of Malaysia's biggest banks. But the boom didn't last. As demand dropped and competition surged, profits were wiped out in 2022 and expansion plans were paused. Now, as Top Glove works to turn things around, we sit down with the man behind the brand. What's next for Top Glove? And what has Tan Sri Lim learned from the highs and lows?
Tan Sri, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you on. Thank you so much for making time for this interview.
Thank you for inviting us.
Well, first of all, before we dive in, I can't help but notice that you're wearing your signature gloves.
Good.
I have to ask you this. What's the story behind that?
Yeah, glove is good. First of all, glove is good for protection, for many purpose. Also red color, Chinese say Ong. Ong means prosperous.
And you wear this, I've noticed, in most of your interviews.
Yeah, interview, function, event, I wear every day.
Okay.
So I share with my staff, my colleague, my workers. So it's good. And also to test our product.
Right.
So,
that's a very
so
good way to do it.
that we know the product is good or not, how to improve. So definitely value add, nothing to lose. It's more positive.
Okay. Now I want to go back to the early days of Top Glove. You started the company with your wife in 1991.
Yes.
Talk to us about that. What led you to starting the company, and what were the early days like?
Yeah, good. We started the Top Glove company in the year 1991. So it was 33 years ago. Time passed very fast. So of course, just like any other company or businesses, starting is always challenging, difficult. Why? Because we have limited resources. We continue to improve, add value. Remember the power of tiny gain. Every day we improve, we add value. Never give up attitude, continue to do our best. So then company start to do well, we started to recruit more and more people, more positive contributor, right people. So we were able to grow for about 30 years. Then it was too good in the year 2021. So the profit was very good. We made a profit of, before tax, about 10 billion ringgit is a lot. And then we pay corporate income tax, 2 billion, so we net about 8 billion. So it was too good, so many people jumped in. So it became very challenging, oversupply. Glove price came down. From $100 dropped to $20, so it's about 80% drop. So it was a big impact. So this happened also about 33 years ago, about 30 over years ago. The glove business also went up very high. Glove business selling price was from $20 per 1,000 glove. Went up to $100 per 1,000 glove FOB per clank price. So this round was the second time.
So you're used to the highs and the lows of running the business.
We have experience, so it's challenging, but we still have to go through. So beginning, of course, it's tough. Everything. We always say tough time create strong people, strong men.
What were the biggest lessons that you learned? Let's talk about the more recent one, which is during the pandemic. You said that Top Glove skyrocketed, and then it fell in a matter of less than 1.5 years.
Yes.
What was the biggest lesson that you learned?
So we must realize we were profitable for 30 years, and then we did not have any experience for losing money in this company or glove. So it's a big lesson for us to learn. So make us very tough and very challenging. Not only to me and my team. We have about 12,000 people, so it's very tough. So we still have to go through. We know it's tough. So I always believe we problem, challenges is a good learning. Is a problem is a teacher. Teacher, they teach us. Problem, we think hard, we work hard, we work smart. So problem become knowledge to us.
Were there any things that you wish you had done differently during that time?
So yes, of course, we learn from the history. If we could go back to history, if repeat again, we should have improved taking care of our glove quality even during good time. Also, we must have more reserve.
Cash reserve?
Cash reserve must have more, so that when it's down the time, our financial health, our financial position will be even healthier. So it's a good lesson. We learn it and be sure that we are physically, mentally, and financially must be healthy.
Going back to the pandemic, you said that having cash reserve is very important, but at that time, Top Glove was flying really high. Of course, the borders opened, vaccines started rolling out, there were massive supply of gloves in the market. So that's what happened, right? And that hit Top Glove quite significantly. Did you anticipate it, or was that did it come as a shock to you when that happened?
Of course, we did not anticipate so fast. The business, the glove price dropped so fast. We were actually unprepared.
Okay.
So it was a big impact to us. So luckily we are able to go through it. Now it's recovering. We are doing better and better now. But during that time, it's a big impact. So we were talking about we made profit before tax of 10 billion, and then after 1 year, 2 years later, we lost 1 billion.
How did you face your shareholders at that time?
So,
do you remember the feeling?
So shareholder, we have to explain to them, you know, this is external factor and internal factor. External factor, we did very well, not because only we are strong, but external factor, the tailwind, they call tailwind, the market demand, the market demand was very strong, and then glove selling price was very good, very high. There was external factor. So when against us, also many external factor, because oversupply market, glove price came down, demand reduced, supply stock still very high, glove stock in the market still high. So 80% because of external factor, 20% is internal.
So Top Glove now, 48 factories, producing 95 billion pieces of gloves annually, still the largest glove maker in the world.
Yes.
That's a fantastic achievement.
Yes.
Did you always dream about this? You know, when you listed the company back in 2001?
No, we did not expect this size, and we just continue to improve. We say power of tiny gain. Every day we improve 1%. 1 plus 1% equal to 1.1 to power 365 days is equal to 38 times, 3,800%. So we continue to do our best. Every day we never give up, and we think that the glove business is good. The demand is always there. The supply maybe increase, maybe drop, but the demand is always very steady. 10% growth a year is a good industry to be in. Because it's too good, then we invite market invite more competition, more players in the market. So it's a matter of time we will get used to it.
Now, speaking of competition, besides what happened during the pandemic, the ups and downs of the cycle, of course, China, it's one big factor.
Yes.
Lower cost, lots of players. So, how do you see Top Glove differentiating itself in this sort of environment?
This China glove manufacturer is very competitive. They work very hard, very efficient. Relatively, compared with Malaysia players, not only competitive to Malaysia player, not only glove, many other manufacturing products. Malaysia is the world largest manufacturer of glove. So we already have the technology, the skill, the talents. Of course, China came from behind. They improve very fast. We Malaysian manufacturers, we should improve faster, have to be more efficient.
Yeah, so looking forward, I was going to ask you, is the strategy is to be more efficient, be more cost effective? Is this the game plan in your industry, the glove industry?
Yes. Not only glove industry, in most of other industry as well. You have to be quality and cost efficient. That's our business direction. There's Top Glove business direction is to produce consistently high quality glove at efficient, low cost. So nowadays customers are very efficient, and they're also very selective of suppliers. So they always look for good quality or acceptable quality at efficient, low cost or low price.
Another factor I'd like to add to that is, of course, sustainability, ESG. Top Glove, of course, faced some scrutiny over its labor practices during the pandemic. US banned imports of your gloves for a while. It's back to normal now, but what some lessons did you learn during that time?
So we learned the things that the Malaysia standard and US standard or Europe standard on handling the workers, especially foreign workers, is different. So their requirement is much higher. Even though we meet the Malaysia standard, does not mean that we meet the US standard. So in Malaysia environment, we have been practicing this engagement with foreign workers or employing foreign workers for almost 20 or more than 25 years. So because Top Glove was the world largest glove manufacturer, and also our name was very high in the market, so a lot of attention, especially attract the activists. So activists came in to find out more things that we did not do so well, because we have so many factories, so it's difficult to manage. But of course, after that we learn. So it's very expensive lesson, which not only we learn, all the other Malaysian manufacturers have to learn as well. So when we grew, the expectation, the requirement keep changing and improving. So it's a good lesson we learn, and we have to follow the international standard.
Okay. Now I want to talk about looking ahead. So despite the challenges that you've mentioned, we look at Top Glove's latest results. Quarterly losses are narrowing, revenues up 75% year on year. Are you optimistic for a full recovery soon?
Yeah. And we are in recovering stage. We manage our cost well. We reduce our manpower from as high as 25,000 to about 12,000 now. So we reduce the cost, take care of the quality, so that our costing is better, so we can compete in the world market. Of course, now the US imposed the import duty on Chinese manufacturer in China, imposed 50% on 1st of January 2025. So this will help us.
Yeah, it's a bigger challenge for
it's good for Malaysian glove manufacturers. So could see over the past 5 weeks, the orders, glove orders from US is increasing. So it's good news.
I do want to ask about expansion plans, listing plans, because back in 2022, there were plans to list in Hong Kong, but that took a backseat. I understand there were lots going on at the time, the war in Ukraine, Russia. Are there plans to revisit listing in Hong Kong?
Yes, when the company back to positive or become profitable, we will study, we will re-evaluate again. So I think it's good to go to a bigger market. Of course, it's not easy, but I think with good determination, good effort from the team, I think still a possibility.
So Hong Kong is still the plan?
Yeah.
Okay, because you mentioned earlier that you had 24,000 staff and you cut almost half of that, right?
Yeah.
Is it because you have invested more in innovation, automation? Is that the reason why you are able to do it?
Yeah, of course, improvement, innovation, automation is one of them, but the most important is the order also came down by half.
Okay.
So we had to reduce the number of employees so that we can reduce our costs. If we still have so many people, our costs will be very high. We will not be able to compete in the world market.
But you're expecting orders to pick up soon?
Yeah, so now orders, so we started to recruit again.
Okay.
So of course we must be thankful to our existing staff that continue to go through the tough time together with us, and I'm sure eventually they will be rewarded accordingly if they are positive contributor and if all of us are positive contributors.
Now, speaking of tough time, I do want to turn to a more personal note. We are of course here because you just recently launched your book. Must know, must do, must teach. First of all, congratulations. Why was this the right time to launch your book, or what do you hope to share for people reading it?
So we started the idea to have a biography book about 5 years ago. So
this was during pandemic then?
Yeah, just before pandemic, we already planned to have. So, and then the time was very good, so we were very busy of selling more gloves, producing more gloves, but at least we have a good start. After that, the business came down very fast, also became very challenging. So it also took some time to prepare, to get all the information. So we were not in a rush to have this book out. So after some time, took us about 4 or 5 years. So I think now is a good time to share our good experience of ups and downs, so highs and lows. So it's very good experience. We have complete the cycle. We always believe tough time, great, strong man.
Do you feel that you have emerged stronger since
definitely
what happened
stronger.
during the pandemic?
Yeah, so of course, during pandemic, the business was so good. Then people tend to become complacent. Not only ourselves, but our team. Human nature, there's human nature. So then became complacent, and then people work lesser, not that productive, but cost very high. So we made many mistakes during good time. And then after that, the market turned down. So we realized the mistake we made so much, so costly. So then we have to start tighten our belt. We have to control the cost. Have to go back to the basic. No more good time. Everybody have to wake up, and everybody have to work harder and smarter.
Do you remember personally for you, when was the wake-up call?
Wake-up call when the company turned into losing position, and when it's on the way down.
It didn't happen overnight though. I think it was about a year.
No. Yeah. We lost for about 2 years, 8 quarters. So first quarter we lost is a big wake-up call already. So in the history of 30 years, we did not have any losses in the past. So the first quarter loss is the big wake-up call. We have to do something seriously. So then we get the team. So we have to work extra hard, put in extra effort to reduce the cost, to improve the glove quality, so that we can back to the track.
Right. How do you deal with the financial setback? Because it's not just the company's profit and revenue. Personally, your family stake in the company, I think, was like at $1.6 billion US dollars, and then it fell to what, 1.6 or 1.5.
Yeah.
How did you feel about that personally?
Yeah, it's okay, because we also start from low, it went up, so we knew that one day also it will come down, because it's business cycle. Right. So we must expect and prepare. So that's why mentally, physically, financially must be strong.
And I was just browsing through your book, reading about your background, starting off in Jelebu, your family. I understand that this book pays a lot of homage to your ancestors, to your community. Why is that so important to you?
So we always must be thankful those who helped us before, who brought up before, see. So very important. People help us before, we must contribute back. Like the society which, or community that built the school for our education. So from primary school, secondary school, high school, or college and university. So without them, we will not do well. We will not be today. So we must always thankful for those people who helped us before.
Okay. Is that why the last part is must teach?
Yeah, because we learn already that with the knowledge we have, we must know. So we don't know, we must ask and must learn. After we have knowledge, we must do. If you got knowledge, you don't do, there is no use. So we do, you want to do, you must have discipline. A lot of people know, that smoking no good, but they still smoke. That's bad. Example, people say you must exercise, must clean well, eat well, work well, exercise well, sleep well, but not many people can do it. You need to have the discipline.
Do you think you've done it?
Yeah, I practice every day, because I know it's important, it's valuable. So after that, we do our self-leadership by example. No good enough, we must share with other people, get more people to live healthily and peacefully together. You alone good is no good enough.
You sound like someone who has figured it all out, and you have found like the key to the question of living life well. I do wonder, what would be your proudest achievement so far, personally for you? Is it in the business? Is it in the family? What drives you forward?
So of course there are many things we want to achieve, but I should say the three very important things, which is physically must be strong and healthy, which I'm good, physically. Mentally, I'm very strong, very positive. Financially, I also very positive. Not easy to be a billionaire. So in fact, I have achieved most of them. But of course, don't stop here. We also must help other people to do well together. So which I continue to share, to teach, and don't waste. Every time, every day, every hour, every minute is valuable. Don't waste.
Well, let's talk about what's next for your company then. I understand some of your children are working with you in the company.
Right.
And I always find it very interesting because, when you have family members working in the company, there's always like clash of ideas, the young and the old. So I do wonder, how do you preserve that Top Glove legacy while at the same time giving freedom to the young ones to run the company?
So for a company to do well, for good future, we need the senior and the junior. The old people, the young people must work together, not either one. We must both. We need both, because both can contribute positively. The senior one, they have a lot of knowledge and experience. Whereas the young one, a lot of energy, very dynamic. So we need both. So it's good, work as a team. Not only for my children or family member, even the staff. I always say every staff is the children, or is the child of the company. All our staff are children of the company. So everybody given a chance to do well and to be promoted. We are based on meritocracy without discrimination or favorism. So we believe in the best man or best person run the show.
Are there any other goals that you personally have not achieved and you would like to see through?
Yeah, of course we still have, not just achieve. My goal, as I mentioned in the book, my life goal is to live healthily, happily until 120 years. So this is my life goal. For the business company, my goal is to be a Fortune Global 500 company. Not easy, but at least we are Southeast Asia. We already 500 companies in Southeast Asia. So yeah, still a lot of things to do. Still a lot of things we can add value and contribute.
Okay. One final question before we go. For people watching this or young entrepreneurs looking to you and thinking like, I want to be like him someday, what would be your advice to him or her?
Clean well, eat well, work well, exercise well, and sleep well. This is foundation, precondition. You are healthy, then only you can work. You are not healthy, then you cannot work. You cost a lot to yourself and to the company. So second is remember the power of tiny gains. Every day you must do positive thing, add positive value. Negative thing, bad things, don't do. Then every day you're adding value. Okay? Third thing is follow the book, must know, must do, must teach. Must know, must get the knowledge. Must learn every day. Then must do, as I explained, must have discipline to do, must teach, must willing to share and teach. The fourth thing is be a positive contributor to yourself, to the family, company, and society. Must be a positive contributor. Don't be a liability to yourself, to the company, or to the society. Must be a positive. Add value every day.
10%, right?
Yeah, 1% a day.
1% a day.
Yeah. And the fifth one is must have the knowledge, must have discipline. These two add together become wisdom plus healthy plus success. So you want to be successful. The formula already given, the SOP given, is up to us whether or not to catch the kung fu or not.
All right.
The skill. If you can catch, congratulations.